The Auckland Primary Principals Association surveyed 79 of its principals throughout the Auckland region. Maxim Institute researcher Steve Thomas believes the results come as no surprise when the current education system prevents state schools from being able to make teaching more attractive as a career.
So what defines the quality of a teacher in New Zealand?
Well, I think there are several ways that we can define a quality teacher. And the first of those is simply that good teachers are able to impart information, knowledge and skills to pupils. But that's only really the beginning. A good teacher is a teacher who can really engage with pupils, get them excited about learning, and help them to enter into that world of education and lifelong learning that we want all children to be passionate about. But it's not just about that, it's also the fact that a good teacher, while they're engaging the student, is able to reflect on how they're teaching a student and how they're able to adapt their teaching practice to reflect what the needs are of pupils in our classrooms.
And what's your basis for saying that teaching is not seen as a high-status career anymore?
Well, I think it's obvious from a lot of the statistics that we see come out of the government and the Department of Statistics. What we've seen is that there's a growing exodus of good teachers overseas, and also conversely that there are a sizable proportion, in some cases maybe 30% in Auckland, of the teachers who are coming into our schools are actually teachers who are coming from overseas. And also we see in other research as well, done in New Zealand, that among teachers, paying conditions is one of the top 3 things that they would change about their profession. And also we've seen other research in the past couple of years which suggests that across large sections of the population, teaching is not seen as the noble, valuable profession that it once was. So it is declining as an attractive career option for many people in New Zealand.
You've said that salary rates are not reflecting the ability of teachers. How is this so?
I think what we see is that you've got more mediocre teachers coming into the classroom, and that's not the kind of situation that we want. And this is partly a product of the fact that it's really just too easy to become a teacher. You can just go through the 1 year of Teachers College if that's a simple option for you to do. There's just less incentives for good people, men of high quality, calibre and character, who are experts in their field, to sort of come through and join the teaching profession. Why would they do this when the paying conditions are just not what they could be, when they're expected to be paid the same as a teacher who is of worse quality, when they just can't be rewarded for the actual quality of the teaching that they can display in the classroom. And I think it's time that we change the pay system to give incentives for teachers to be able to perform to a high level and be rewarded for that. And to do that, we need to give the schools much more freedom, much more flexibility to be able to pay teachers in the way that is appropriate for that school.
What will be the effect of the NZEI pay rates?
The actual amount of pay at the moment is perhaps not so much the primary issue here, because you can pour more and more money into teacher salaries and rewarding for different elements within that structure. But if you don't address the fundamental flaw in the system, which is that we can't reward teachers based on their quality, because as I was saying, it's all merged within one tier, everyone's more or less paid the same. Unless we address that concern, it doesn't matter how much more money the NZEI or the PPTA is able to negotiate for teachers, we still haven't solved that basic problem, and that is to make the pay system more flexible.
And what needs to be done to keep high quality teachers in their jobs?
Well, I think the most important thing to always come back to is pay teachers properly, because they are so important. I mean, other research shows that teachers perhaps account for as much as 30% of the variance in pupil achievement outcomes. So we must address the paying conditions first. I think that's the most important thing to do. And as I was saying, you've got to give schools the ability to be able to reward a good teacher in that school, because currently the current system of pay means that teachers get paid all the same unless they seek promotion, unless they can be awarded management units. And that has nothing to do with the quality of a teacher. Why do we pay our teachers based on whether they perform a management function? Of course that is important too for the running of a school. But why should a really excellent teacher who's really good with the kids, and that's what they're most passionate about doing, why can't we reward them for that kind of work to the same level as a deputy principal, for example, or even a principal? We've got to do more to be able to differentiate between the different roles of teachers and to always keep firmly in mind that it's the quality of the teacher and the teaching that they're providing for children in the classroom that is most important.
How does the quality of our teachers reflect on the students and our future generation?
The teacher is, besides the background of the student, is the most critical part of a child's education experience. I'm sure when you think back on your time in school, it's the teachers who engage with you, who bothered, who wanted to make a difference in your life, that were the most memorable and made the most lasting impact. And so again, I think we need to make sure that the system, in terms of how schooling is provided and how we set salaries and conditions for teachers, make sure that those kinds of people want to stay in the profession, and so that we can attract more men and women of that character into teaching, so that can ensure the future of our children and our future generations.
Well, thanks very much for speaking with us.
Thank you very much.